Hello. Hello. Another rather subdued hush hush beer review by yours truly. Got a beer here that, honestly, since I've been in France, it's my go-to beer. I'll explain why. It's not a French beer. I can't say that there are some good examples. I will say there are some pretty good examples of French beers, and some notable ones. All in all, I'm not overly impressed with French beer. There are exceptions. It's been kind of hit and miss. But this beer, Paulander Weissbier, a Munich beer. It's a wheat beer. They say they've been brewing this since 1634. Paulander. German beer, obviously. This is outstanding. This is definitely a 5-star beer. And being that I'm in France, I get this for roughly $2 a can, which pretty good. And it's fresh. All right, about this beer. It's a Weissbier. It's a wheat beer. And they claim to be the #1 selling wheat beer in Germany. Now, when they say wheat beer, they don't mean the whole beer is made out of wheat. It's not. It's got barley malt in it, but it's got wheat malt in it, dark wheat malt. Their website has quite a bit of information. Paulander website. It's worth a look at if you're interested in this brew. I'm using my tablet to make this, so it's a little out of focus. Sorry. It doesn't seem to do low lighting well for video. They even tell you how to pour it, 45-degree angle. I'm going to pour it the way their website says how to pour it. I'm going to be in this country for another 4 days at this point in this video. And then it's back to my usual stuff that I'm grateful to have in New York State. And some other reviews. Definitely, I've got some videos to make when I get home. I went to Mont Saint Michel, which was quite an experience for me. And I got some outstanding videos and pictures of that place. All right. But for now, I'm still in France. Been here for about a month. And this beer, if I just want a good beer, a beer that I know is really, really good, this is the beer I go to. Germany's Paulander Weissbier. 5.5% alcohol. It's mostly got wheat barley malt in it, like all beers. But they also use a percentage of wheat malt, dark wheat malt in this. The hops, they tell you they use one type of hops. It's Hercules. And it is brewed like an ale. It's top fermented. And they use fresh yeast in it. They propagate their yeast, and they claim it's fresh yeast, and it helps with the flavor, because this is an unfiltered beer, meaning the yeast, the live yeast, pure vitamin B12, is still in this. And you want that. It's part of the flavor, it's part of the flavor profile. And it's pure vitamin B12, a pretty good dose of it too. So, 5.5% alcohol. I know what this beer tastes like. Even if you're not nuts about beer, if you want a good beer, get some of this Paulander Weissbier. Get it good and cold. Get yourself a glass, preferably, and enjoy. It is outstanding. So, all right, open up this can. It smells of bananas believe it or not. And that's probably from the yeast and that's in it. It smells like bananas and fruit, but kind of also has notes of bread in it. Okay, according to their site, there's a correct way to pour this. 45-degree angle, pour it in like so. My glass isn't big enough. I can't pour this whole beer in there. Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. You can see it's dark. And the dark color is from the malted wheat. Okay. Just about get the whole beer in here. Just about. Now, this is almost empty. So I want to swish it around to get all the yeast that's in the bottom of this can here out, because I want the yeast in my beer. Good for your health. There it is. It did hold it. Got a really fine head on it. This is one of the few beers that very, very, very few beers that I would give this 5 out of 5 stars. And if you like beer, you owe it to yourself to try this, because you can get it in America. Preferably get it in the cans, but I've seen it mostly in bottles. It smells like bananas. It smells like banana bread. I don't know how else to put it. Oh yeah. And it goes down smooth, velvet smooth. This is Germany's equivalent to Guinness Stout. It's very smooth. It's got a lot of flavor. It's very easy to drink. Has a little less alcohol than the stout. At 5.5, that is the extra stout. But it is very smooth. A very smooth drink. Yeah, perfectly carbonated. Got a little lacing already in it. It's cloudy, as you can see. That's because it wasn't cloudy when I first poured it, but I dumped the yeast into it at the end, and that made the beer cloudy, which might make it a little less visually appealing. Some would say, I would say so, but it's all right as far as I'm concerned. It's a nutritional beer. 3.2 carbs per can, 0 fats, and I forget the calories. But you get now don't quote me on this, but I think you get a full day's dose of vitamin B12 in an unfiltered beer with the yeast in it. It goes down very good. Taste, it's got a medium body to it. It's not a light beer. It's not a wicked heavy beer either, to say. It's got quite a bit of flavor to it, but nothing overpowering. I'll tell you. It's remarkably smooth, creamy, kind of sweet and sour up front, and sour in the back, mildly sour, very mildly sour. I think this beer would go down good at room temperature, but I think it would be best served cold. you know, like refrigerator cold. Let's just say maybe 40 degrees, possibly cooler Fahrenheit. It's got it again. It has a sweet taste, but you get a little bit of hops bitterness, and the bitterness doesn't really come off bitter. It's more like a hop sour. Nope, a nice sour. Nothing. Just a hint. It's kind of the sweetness in this is balanced off by the sourness. So it's very good. Very good. Oh, yeah, I'd say it's a 5-star beer. I've had a few good French beers. More precise, beers brewed in Brittany, where I'm at. And I've noticed in France, I think one of their number one selling beers is actually a Belgian beer, spelled Leffe, but pronounced Leif. Leif. The E is silent on the end. It's a sweet beer. Most French beers are kind of sweet for American taste. I'm not saying I think they have good beer, but it's just not a style I like. But Brittany, they have a lot of breweries in Brittany, and some of them are fairly new. Most of them are fairly new breweries. A few of them are good, and I'm finding that a few others are actually very good. Yeah, that's another topic. But this is a masterpiece. This is the German equivalent of Guinness Stout, in my opinion. This Weissbier, my opinion. At about $2 a can, it's also cheaper. That's a big can. You get a little more, well, about almost a pint. I don't know what's in here. 500 milliliters or half a liter, so 5.5% alcohol. Got a half a liter, so it's a pint. You get a pint for $2 in France, where I'm at, Brittany. Dinan. And I'm gonna miss up. I'm planning to come back at this point in my life, God willing. But I've got to go back to New York and live my life out there. You know, it's where my house is, my car. That's it. I don't have any people there. It's I'm all alone in that town now, which is part of the reason I came here, was to try to run away from some of the sorrow I had there with having people I love very much die recently. People that were central to my life, suddenly gone. And if you follow my channel, you know who I'm talking about. And then I lost my dog. I'm thinking about getting another dog. I don't know, you know, when you love your dog and you lose your dog, it takes you a while. There's a grieving process. And then, like most people, I'm reluctant, you know, I don't want to go through that again, where you watch your dear doggy suffer and die, and all the money in the world isn't going to help him. That's hard. They're so innocent. It's like watching a child die or something, you know. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I'm not sure if I'm going to get another dog. I'm not sure if I'm really ready for that yet. Work on my music. Work on some books that I did start here. Some books. I got well into them. Work on my YouTube channel. work on getting back into shape, losing some weight and working out. I made it to the top of Mont Saint Michel 2 days ago, and that is not, you better be in some kind of shape to get up there. I mean, you don't have to be, Olympic, or athlete, but it's a lot of climbing. Stairs, there's no handicap, anything there, accommodations at all. I'll do a review on Mont Saint Michel. I've got a lot to say about that. So to include, I want to go back and spend more time there. Oh. Well, I usually finish the beer, but I think I'm going to conclude a little early this time on this. I had a big dinner. I went out tonight a little over an hour ago, and this American finally found a great cheeseburger in France. You go to France, and I'm just looking for a good cheeseburger. I found one, and a mountain of fries, and it was pretty good. I'm pretty full. I'm not going to be drinking this fast. Well, take care, all of you, and I know this channel's kind of fallen by the wayside, but I've been working a lot to afford the money to come here, and I've been kind of preoccupied here. Preoccupied. Yeah. All right. Bonne journée. Au revoir.